Good afternoon. Welcome to the Friday, February 20th, 2026 meeting of the Kingston City Land Bank's Acquisition, Disposition, and Construction Committee. My name is Mike. I serve as the meeting's moderator. We do ask that members of the public limit their comments no more than 2 minutes per speaker. And before turning it over to the chair of the committee, I might ask that our first agenda item be to elect a chair of the committee. Anyone interested?
Aaron?
I'm happy to continue on as chair if you would like. And include anybody in, I've said this before, but I will include anybody in any conversation as much as people want to be included in anything. But happy to continue in that role.
Thank you.
Of course.
Unless Rebecca would like it.
Well,
could we have a vote just to make it clear for this meeting?
All those in favor of Aaron continuing as chair, please vote. Aye.
Aye.
Okay, vote is unanimous. Congratulations, Chair Chilowich. And now I turn the rest of the meeting over to you.
I'll turn it back to you in a second. So the first thing is meeting frequency. So this is the one committee that by charter, at least under the current charter, has to meet 6 times a year. Which is every 2 months. There are times when this committee in particular, I think, should be meeting probably more regularly than that especially when we have votes or things to discuss. My proposal, and I'm very much open to feedback on this, but my initial thought was, let's move it to 6 times a year with the understanding that we may have to convene, whether via email or in the interim, occasionally to take votes and discuss kind of specific items. Rebecca and Joanna, how do you two feel about that?
I think it makes sense. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just curious if there'll be times where we'll need to be meeting more like with the new development or.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. I have especially with RFPs, anything that we do that requires a vote at board that ends up being time sensitive, we'll have to convene for a meeting, or at the very least, we can under charter, right, as long as we have a unanimous vote in writing, we can do it that way as well. So we'll take it a month at a time, obviously, and go from there.
I mean, I think that makes sense to me.
Okay.
I would prefer not to do too much voting via email. So if we have something to discuss, we should discuss it,
I agree. It's always better to actually have a conversation. The only thing I want to say on this is I can recirculate it. I think, so we have these committee charters. These charters are kind of very much our living documents, and we have not come back and take another look at them in quite a while. But I think that ADCs it's I think actually pretty plain. There's probably not that much to update, but if anybody has a moment and wants to look at it, I read through it this morning and I'm going to read through it again. I do think it'd be worth us, making sure that the charters reflect both what we're doing, but also what we want, to be doing as committees, so that they're, effective living documents in terms of our kind of operational method or approach. So we don't need to talk about it today, but just you all have it. I think Mike circulated it when he sent around like the request for committee requests, what committees you want it to be on. And so, take a look if you have a moment. I, for the one, had not read it in a while. So
I would like to suggest that we put it on the agenda for the next meeting.
Let's do it.
Because there's a lot of shifting in what we might be doing. I haven't read it, and maybe maybe it's not so specific as that might it just seems to me there might be a lot of different kinds of properties coming our way with different problems and responsibilities attached to each of them. So I don't know if that is necessarily reflected in the charter or not, but I would like for us to be prepared to do that. So okay.
The charter is pretty broad strokes. It doesn't talk, that level of detail, but I do think it's worth an actual conversation. So let's definitely let's add it to the mix for our next call.
Then I'll read it. That's what I want to do then.
There you go. So I guess with that, Mike, I'll hand it over to you to talk about, well, most everything else, but RFPs,
I'll
you
take a
and
shot.
Kyle. Yeah.
Awesome. So Kyle, do you mind if I take the lead on
Go ahead.
this? Groovy. So Kyle and I released RFPs for some work that we're anticipating, but we're not sure of. So these are Article 11 properties that the city may offer to us under the disposition policy. It's a six-figure number of potential properties coming our way, so that obviously trips into our requirements for procurement to release an RFP. It's a little quirky. I just wanted to add this preamble. It's a little quirky because we haven't been offered any properties. We don't know how many properties we will be offered, but when we are offered properties, we wanted to have reached out to the community and have some resources so that we could either recommend moving forward with, the RFP itself both asked for pricing and volume. So we went to title company, for example, and said, what is your price, but also how many can you do and what given time frame, given that we will have 90 days to respond to the city. So happy to report that we have received responses from each of these types of vendors. They have indicated their volume and their price, and we've received to date no offers from the city for Article 11 properties. So my update is that we are prepared to respond to a volume of properties coming our way. We have nothing to do that we have to respond to at this time. But when we do have that opportunity, we're in a good position to come back to this committee and make some, sorry.
Gotcha. Yeah, so that was my next question. So because it's a public RFP, we have responses to an RFP. We haven't actually, reviewed the responses yet. When we get off, if and when we get offered properties, you will make a recommendation to this committee. We'll then go to the board and do a full vote.
Absolutely.
Based on the volume of properties that we are offered and the volumes of properties that the different respondents can say they can do. Okay.
Absolutely. That's my update on it.
That's great.
So they're already, the RFPs are closed already, right?
Yes.
So, okay, it was just a quick one.
It's a quick one.
And did you let them know
one.
that we wouldn't be utilizing their services until we have more information, or?
We tried to be transparent because we don't actually know when we would be presented for properties. For context, we know that we will be presented with 12 properties following the January redemption period. We don't know when that will happen because there's additional processes behind it for the city to be able to offer it to us. Similarly, the February redemption, we know that we will be offered 12 properties. We don't know what those properties are, and we don't know when we will be offered. So we did say up to 125 properties this year is what I believe we said. Maybe by third quarter of this year or something, but we tried to be transparent, but we didn't know. So we tried to be transparent.
Great.
Okay. Okay. And then Keystone dispositions. Kyle, how are we doing?
We are moving ahead. We are on pace for mid-March closings. And we have, just a reminder, we have the ribbon cutting next Friday. Hope to see you all there if you can make it at 3 p.m. 52 grand. It's gonna be an exciting event. Got pretty good turnout, it looks like. So, good to get the whole board there and show your support. So yeah, moving along. No major hiccups so far as the closings go. Yeah. Happy to answer any questions.
That's great. No questions. I don't have any questions. So. Excited to sell the homes. See you all. See whoever can be there next Friday. So Kyle, then I guess just keep moving along onto the new home. I just can't. The new home. The whole thing is confusing to me. The requisition schedule. And I know you shared a kind of, was it the first requisition that you guys put through already?
Yeah, it's a pending requisition. We submitted it this morning. So hope to have that
Nice.
Approved. Sorry.
They're beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, tried to clean it up a little bit.
Very clear.
Yeah, I can.
No, I
Sorry.
was just curious, like, if you could remind me, there's no, like, is there a deadline to how we have to spend the funds for the home program?
We have, I believe it's
for the home funds, not the
Yeah.
48
It-
months.
maybe
Like
a
48 months. 6
Okay.
Yeah,
months.
it's 3 to 5. Yeah, I think it's up to 5 years. This program is structured around traditional construction.
Hmm.
So the fact that we're going modular and hope to, speed this up gives us a pretty big window beyond our anticipated construction timeline.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. I thought the
Yeah.
home fund, sorry, I thought the home funds were in particular for modular homes. Is that not right?
No, it's just for uh any standard single family home.
Single
And
family, that was the
yeah,
thing.
but it's
Okay.
and new construction. So
Okay.
yeah, so that was why we chose it this time around. But yeah, it was an opportunity to work with modular.
Is the
Um,
is the requisition timeline that you've been kind of told will take place, is it going to be similar to kind of other HCR programs that we funded from, or is it going to be, is there a different process because they're federal funds for the requisitions themselves?
so we're going through the first process right now, so not entirely sure about all the paperwork. We had a meeting with HCR to go over what we need to do, and fairly certain it's a pretty straightforward process of just, sending over invoices and getting approval
Okay.
from HCR, and the turnaround is actually somewhat faster than we had anticipated. Forget exactly. Mike, do you recall how quickly they said for the
I think our first
reimbursement?
estimates in our early meetings were up to 45 days is what we'll target. And then we were told 30 days. And I think recently we were told 3 weeks,
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah, it's
But
faster
who
than
knows
yeah,
until
exactly.
HCR has the money, by the way. They're not
Yeah,
funding
yeah,
it from a federal
yeah, yeah, yeah.
source. So
Yeah,
Um,
so
okay, that's great.
yeah, and we're working on there'll be as shows LBI funds that we're going to be drawing down too. So we're going to be doing separate recs for home funding, depending on uh, the line item. At this point, home funding is entirely tied to construction hard costs. So that will be kind of dictating where we're doing the recs from. But anticipate every month doing partially a home rec, well, do a home rec and do an LBI rec as well. And we're working on the next LBI rec. Just had
Nice.
ready to go for the modular deposits. That's this first rec is the funds we put down to Bill Lake for them to get started on the houses.
Okay, great. Any questions for Kyle and Mike on that?
Exciting.
Things are underway.
Yeah.
Um,
How is the weather affecting, like, because I know it's a lot of like adjusting the topography of the site. So I'm curious. With snow and
the,
mud and
the
sleet.
the trees are down. So the
Okay.
tree work has taken place. The stump work, which I am personally weirdly nerdily excited about, has not taken place yet. It
Do
has
they
to do with
grind the
like
stuff?
they're going to pull them.
Oh wow.
Cool, right? So
Gonna be there for
site work
that?
is. I mean, I'd like to be. I don't know if
Gonna
I can
watch.
make it, but it is affecting the schedule in the sense that it would, if let's say it remained frozen, it would preclude using normal concrete mixes, but you can still pour in whatever condition once we clear the site, which won't be affected by the weather. If it's below freezing in a month from now, we have a problem. But other than that, I think we're fine.
Yeah.
Even then, we can still keep moving. No, I don't think the weather will affect it, is what I should have said. All right.
okay. And then if there's no other questions, on to 19A.
Cool. So 19A offered to us. We have 3 homes that have been offered under the city's disposition policy. We have until April 27th to respond to the city's offer. We have commenced with and signed agreements for phase 1 work, and survey work, which is ongoing or underway. I've also taken a look at the properties and walked through them. They're in rough shape. They need to be stabilized. There's a lot of junk in them, but ultimately nothing radical has jumped out from my perspective, and we're just moving forward with the investigation of those properties. Those are really my updates.
Am I mistaken in remembering that the phase one costs are being covered somehow by the Novo Foundation, or are we covering those costs? Is the city covering that? Who's paying them?
Oh, the city is not covering it.
No, we're covering it, right?
We are. Well, yes, we had asked Novo for funding as part of a package of other activities to include the investigatory work for some of these preliminary disposition offerings. Kyle, maybe it's at your fingertips, but I think we were planning on using that Novo. If Stacy were here, I think she would agree with us, but that's
sorry. Yeah, I just meant that like Novo is not covering it directly.
Correctly.
Yeah.
Correct. Oh, sorry. Yes, of course.
Yes.
No, but the funds that we got were, some of the funds that we got from Novo were designated to cover these research costs. And these are the properties that are not, that we're not able to cover title insurance.
It's an ongoing discussion. Sorry, Aaron.
No, I wasn't gonna say anything. I was just nodding.
Yeah, that's probably what I should have done too. I don't know yet, Rebecca, if it's how it's going to end. We are continuing to research. It most likely will be the case for the purposes of this being a public meeting, that we will purchase the properties and have to hold title for 1 year or 2 years or more before we're able to secure title insurance. And so anybody watching this, that is our current
Okay.
plan.
At some point, I would love to review impact, and maybe not at this meeting, the different kinds of properties that we're getting, and how each of them falls within the title insurance world. Since all of them seem to be slightly different. So at any meeting where that seems appropriate, I would like to just review them.
Of course. I'd be happy to give updates at each one of these meetings if that helps. We have until April 27th to say, like, here's where we are with title insurance. It inches forward, it feels to me like a little bit, but I don't have anything definitive right now. But I'd be happy to report next month or whenever you like.
Okay, just curious.
Cool.
There's nothing else on 19A. The last thing requires us to go into executive session to discuss 4044 Grand. Can I get a motion to move into executive session?
Motion to move to executive session.
Rebecca, in a second. Second, all in favor. All right. And we voted on the aforementioned, we voted affirmatively on the aforementioned item. And with that, is there any new business? No other business? And then I hope you all enjoy your weekends. I will entertain a motion to end this meeting.
Motion to end the
Second.
meeting.
It's a lot of motions and seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
The meeting is over. Thank you all. Have a good weekend. Stay warm.